What's up, y'all? Shawn P. Greene here for Fudge Witless News. Stand by as I blast this. I want to make sure everybody gets the chance to log on here. Here we go. Stand by, here it comes. I'm going to share it on my main page first. There you go. Shawn Patrick Greene, live on Fudge Witless News. I'm going to give you, let me just kind of briefly discuss this while people are coming on. Spoilers for Marvel's Avengers Endgame. I'm telling you ahead of time, so if you're watching this and you don't want the spoilers and you hate me for doing this, then log off. So, I'm going to get there though. I'm going to get there in 1 second. I want to make sure I have ample promotion of this event so that everybody gets a chance to enjoy something from this. Who should I invite? How about, what kind of groups do I got? Give me a second here. I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to promote this to. A group? Page I manage? How about the pages I manage? Got a couple people that will be interested in watching this. Let's see. I know it's late. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Who would be up at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to watch this? It's incredible. Well, some people think it's narcissism. So here we go. Alright, so I just promoted it to a couple places for now. We'll see who jumps on and who watches this another time. In the meantime, let me just explain to you what this is going to be about. Okay? If you're on social media and you're watching it on there, you'll see. On Facebook. It's on Facebook Live right now. And I might upload this to YouTube later. Probably chop it up a little bit, just a little beginning, the introduction that I had. So anyways, this is the end times, let me try it again. This is the end game spoiler for the Avengers, the Marvel Universe, Marvel Cinematic Universe. So are you ready? One more moment. I do want to talk about the NFL draft a little bit too. I don't know about all the college players that are drafted today. Today was day 1 of the NFL draft. And of course, being a Buffalo Bills fan, we kind of see, okay, what's going to be the first pick? Well, first pick was a defensive tackle. Now, reason being, because we lost our biggest leader really on the team in Kyle Williams. 13 years with the team, only one team, only got to the playoffs one time last year, and that was it. So, sadly, he ended his career without achieving, a Super Bowl ring or even an AFC championship. So, and we're kind of sad about that. So, anyways, let's just discuss real quick. It's been 12 years that the Marvel Universe has kind of been building up to this point. And I watched a few spoilers on YouTube. You can also do that too if you don't want to watch this. But I just thought it was very exciting to preview some of the spoilers so that I can really get into the rest of the storyline and get into it. And you know what? Even knowing parts of this the spoiler, some parts of the end, I still cried. I cried, I laughed, I ate popcorn. I had a good time watching this film. And I think anybody who likes action, adventure, and especially Marvel Comics, you guys are going to love this. Okay? Am I mad that Disney owns everything? Yeah. But who's got all the money to do all this kind of stuff? Right now it's Disney. So they put their money up. They what, a couple 400 million or so to pay for everything. I mean, they brought back everybody. So that's one spoiler. So let's get back to the beginning. Okay, the very beginning, without really revealing the whole story, it's really fitting that we get back to a timeline in the cinematic universe right when Thanos snapped his finger, and we get an idea of well, he's not Ronin yet, but when the arrow, when he gets his not the arrow, what am I, Hawkeye, when he gets his family away in the dust, it's the very beginning. It's right when Thanos snapped his finger. So now it became personal for him, for Hawkeye. So getting back to the rest of the team, we ended the last Avengers with Tony Stark and Nebula in space, and he only had a few moments to live, a couple weeks of life left in as far as air, and he gets saved by Captain Marvel. Spoiler. All right, so they bring him back. Tony is upset about everything that happened. You know, he's mad about, you know, giving up the stone by Doctor Strange from the previous movie. He's mad about, you know, even the Civil War era where Captain America didn't listen to him. So, he almost doesn't fall in line with a game plan to end this whole shenanigans. So, but what does happen is, very beginning, first 30 minutes, roughly, you know, the remaining Avengers pool together and decide to hunt down Thanos. And spoiler number 2, Thor cuts Thanos' head off, clean off. That's spoiler number 2. All right, so the next step would be how to live their lives, you know, beyond that. And they fast forward this whole storyline 5 years ahead. Basically, from the time of the end of the big, huge battle and the death of Thanos till the next part of the story, it's 5-year gap. And who comes back from his quantum leap, quantum travel, is Ant-Man. And he's part of this whole thing that helps get everybody on board to the next game plan, is to find out a way. He has to get Tony Stark and the Hulk now, by the way, is a hybrid of David Banner and this Hulk. And he's actually talks like a normal human being. And I guess this character in the comics or the storyline is Professor Hulk. So he's, you know, pretty solid person now at that point. So Professor Hulk, Tony Stark, Ant-Man, they all come together, try to figure something out here. How do they reverse the process of what happened in the last movie? How do they get all the stones back in a new gauntlet to reverse the process and bring everybody from the Infinity War back. And so, spoiler number 3, they succeed. They get all the stones. Iron Man makes a Iron Man type gauntlet. And really the story, even if you knew this, the story of how they did it, I'm not going to spoil all of that. I'm not going to tell you the whole story. The process and everything that happens. Amazing. Amazing story. Amazing writing. I mean, everybody just, I think, did a good job on the story. A lot of nostalgia from the last 12 years in this process. A lot of neat things, neat ideas. So another spoiler coming up. Iron Man, actually the Avengers, they decide to get this gauntlet on somebody. And, you know, Iron Man was suggesting he do it. Tony Stark. Thor said he would do it. And by the way, Thor is a dump. And actually, Tony Stark refers to him as Lebowski. Big Lebowski. You know, I'm the dude. Because he has that look to him. He's fat. You know, he's got big beard now, long hair. It's a big mess. But he's still, you know, the god of thunder in the whole movie. So he does have some electrical powers. Getting back to the gauntlet. So Hulk is the one that puts on the gauntlet on his right hand. It's the Iron Man made, you know, technology that wraps around his arm. And it almost consumes his whole right arm and his face, much like it did Thanos' upper arm and on his left side from that gauntlet. So after snapping his fingers, it brought everything back to normal, but not on the day that Thanos snapped his finger. It actually brought it to that date, but they would return to the timeline of 5 years after that original snap. But here's the problem. During this process, the previous Nebula still was loyal to Thanos prior to him getting the stones. She still was loyal to her daddy, basically. And she finds a way to come back ahead of time with Thanos, with what's her other Gamora, and all the army of whatever he had with him, and the other evil minions that were part of his bidding, all came to Earth. His ship came and destroyed the entire Avengers, the whole facility, that new campus that they made, destroyed all of it. All because old Thanos, who was planning to build up to the Thanos that got the gauntlet, jumped ahead of time, 9 years ahead, to get the gauntlet now, knowing what he knew through Nebula's experience. That's another little thing you want to figure out. This Nebula of new goes back to the old time and interacts with Nebula of old, but they all, because they're both machine, they both have each other's memories connected somehow. That's how Thanos discovers to go ahead in time. But because of that, he learns of all the mistakes he made with this Infinity Stone, this whole, all the stones and the snap, and he has now a new plan, what he would do better with the snap. Instead of killing half of everybody, he wants to kill everybody. So the whole thing is about not allowing past Thanos that comes to the future to not get this gauntlet again. So that's another spoiler. Lastly, the hero of the day. I mean, they all have their part in it. You know, Doctor Strange. Everybody's come back because Hulk snapped and everything came back to normal. So everybody came back. Everybody's there. But in order to get to the old or this Avengers headquarters and getting everybody in the universe onto that spot, Doctor Strange used his orange dusty powers to warp everybody onto the scene to fight Thanos's massive army. So, all in all, incredible. It's an epic battle at the end. It was a great storyline leading up to that battle. And the sad part is, final spoilers, in the process of going back to get the stones, Hawkeye and Black Widow were teamed up trying to get this, and they're the ones that discover or were encountered by, that's right, Red Skeletor, the red masked evil minion, the nemesis of Captain America, and told them the same thing he told Thanos: someone's got to die in order to get that yellow stone. So it was between Hawkeye and Black Widow to decide to sacrifice, who's going to sacrifice themselves in order to win this stone. And they fought each other to try to jump over the edge to kill themselves. And in the end, Black Widow was the one that fell to her demise. And so Black Widow's out. At the end of the epic battle, Thanos really put a beating on Captain America and Iron Man. But Iron Man decides the only way to end this whole thing is for him to put on the gauntlet that he initially put on the Hulk, and got the stones from the gauntlet that Thanos thought he had the stones with, and the stones were on Tony Stark's right Iron Man gauntlet, and Tony goes, and then all of Thanos' army just floats away. Gone. Done. And then at the very end, Thanos sits down. He's gone. Game over. End game. Tony Stark is dead. And the way they ended the film was so classy. It was a lot more dramatic, which is why it took a little bit longer to tell this story. 3 hours, roughly. It took a little bit longer to tell this story because there was more drama added to it. It was beautifully done. It was a very good balance of action, adventure, and drama. You know, a lot of drama, a lot of crying involved, heartfelt goodness, you know. And at the end of that, after Tony Stark's funeral, Captain America made a decision to, which they have to do, return the stones to the timelines that they got them from, so that everything stays normal and nothing is disrupted in the future. So he initially does that, and the game plan was him to be back in 5 seconds. Within that time frame, it would be, I don't know, 5 months or something. I don't know, maybe 5 days. I forgot what the time was. But he's gone for a short period of time, and he was supposed to be back in this device, this time machine, to come back in 5 seconds. But he did not arrive. And the next scene is um, the Hawk, the Hulk, and Hawk goes up. Oh, and Winter Soldier, Bucky. They discover Captain America as a 90-year-old man, something to that effect. Very old man, sitting on a bench from a distance from where they were in this device outside. They were trying to bring him back. And so they go walk up to him. He's older, he looks like he's 90, and he's got this content look on his face. What he did is he stayed in that timeline in the back in 45 or whatever, and he decided he wanted to stay so that he can have the relationship that he desired with, get this, Agent Carter. I think before she was an agent. So anybody who watched anything on Netflix or ABC's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Agent Carter was a part of their team throughout this whole process. And I think she had her own movie too on Netflix. So Captain America lives his life as a normal 20-year-old young man until he's old, to 2020 or whatever, 2019. And that's how it ends. Beautiful story. So sorry I had to spoil it for some people who are watching it, but others, I don't regret it, because I think it's a great story. And even by me spoiling some of the elements, I think it's a great idea for you to go see the movie, even though you know some of it. Now, those of you that didn't watch this, which I wouldn't know, and you don't even know what I'm saying if you didn't watch this, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you watched this after the movie at least. So anyways, I don't have anything more about the NFL draft to really talk about. Some comments. I think the Bills had, if I'm not mistaken, the Bills had the 5th overall pick. Ninth overall pick. They got Ed Oliver from defensive tackle from Houston. So that's, like I said, that's the spot that we needed, because Kyle Williams was a big part of our defense in that area. Defensive tackle, any kind of defensive lineman is what we need. So first round draft picks, I'm pretty happy with that one. Last year we got Josh Allen, quarterback. The dude's solid. We got some trades before the draft, some receivers. I think we got an offense. So it was a smart move to work on the defense a little bit more. We'll see how far that goes. But I think running back is going to be in the line of the next couple draft picks. And maybe another receiver to get him ready. A tight end for sure. A couple more corners. Tremaine Edmonds is going to be a phenomenal linebacker. And I think he's going to be the new leader of this defense. So I'm excited about that. That's all I got to say at Fudge Witless News at 2 in the morning. If you're up or not. Just stay tuned for other announcements. And thank you for watching. Enjoy your night.